Hello, everyone. I'm Precious Tucker with For the Punks. Thank you so much for tuning into our YouTube channel. For the Punks is a resource and publication for fans and creators to connect, learn, and grow. And if you subscribe, you will be the first to know whenever we upload. If this is your first time saying hi, hello, welcome. We are all friends now. Nothing but love over here for the Punks. So yes. Now, you guys, I have to tell you, Choctaw Stadium is throwing a massive 3-day party in Arlington, Texas during the last weekend of May. Honoring the rule of three, there's a pop punk alternative stage, a rock and metal stage, a rap and hip hop stage. The kaleidoscopic lineup features Trippie Redd, Parkway Drive, Blackbear, Lucky, Jesus Peace, Omerta, and more. Today, we're joined by the genius behind So What Music Festival, Mike Ziemer. Hello, Mike.
I always love seeing who people pick as their artist when they say the festival, because you can always tell everyone's got their own favorites. And I love when it's all mixed up like that, because some people are like, there's Parkway Drive and Hatebreed and The Ghost Inside, and then there's some like rap and other stuff like that. But I can tell you're excited about a bunch of different artists. That's the point.
Yes, do I get bonus points? Okay, yay. It's because I just got back from the Promcore Festival in Oklahoma, and Omerta was there, and they changed my life forever. So once I saw that on the lineup, I'm like, oh my God, this is
they're sick. They're from Texas as well. So
yes, it just worked out perfectly. So yes, literally everybody's going to be there. So there is no reason not to go, not to show up. There's somebody there for everybody everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yes. So you all keep watching to find out what contributes to Mike's professional endurance, how he avoids living in fear, and what makes him feel alive. So Mike, for my first question, I have to ask, how are you? How have you been doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to sleep at night. It's so one thing about being a promoter in general, or a festival promoter, is that your brain plays tricks on you, because you're obviously very creative. You're always trying to think of like different ways, and like festival world is very competitive. So you're constantly like, what can make us different? Well, when you're sleeping, your brain likes to have what I call festival nightmares. And they're so outlandish and ridiculous, but it's like, you still wake up and you're like, wait, did that just happen? Like, I'll have a dream where the venue got changed and none of the bands knew, and like they showed up to the wrong spot. And then like my headliner was Miley Cyrus instead of Parkway Drive, and like she's pissed and she posted on the internet. Like it's so crazy. So it's kind of entertaining, because like you have that moment of waking up in a pure panic, but then you're laughing about it because you're like, oh man, Miley Cyrus is mad at me. That's hilarious. Like, but it's that ridiculous. So I'm good. I'm just like, we're working around the clock on this festival, and we have more artists being announced on Friday. I thought it would be hilarious to make a true announcement on April Fool's Day, so that people can try to figure out if it's real or not. It is real, but and I don't know when this airs, so I don't know if like it's going to be after we've already announced. But yeah, we decided that it would be hilarious to announce the last round of artists on April Fool's.
Yes, I'm pretty sure this might come out after April Fool's Day. So I'm excited to see like who it's going to be. And no, the marketing is insane. You guys are always keeping everybody updated, keeping everybody involved, the community, everybody, the engagement is just through the roof. I mean, looking at it from just like, I don't know, I think because I used to go to EDM shows in Oklahoma, and I started out kind of like a promoter a little bit, like passing out flyers and everything, networking. So I can totally see where your heart is at when it comes to promotion and marketing.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I've been doing this since 2004, and like we started putting on concerts basically because there was no all ages scene in Deep Ellum. Like it was 21 and up. There was the door, but like you had to be a certain level of band to even play the side stage. So we started putting on these shows in the suburbs, and it became this thing where like we like third string. A lot of people think like it's a dumb thing on like the G string of a guitar, but really it's a sports reference because I grew up playing sports, of being like the backup. You know what I mean? Like we were the underdog, and that's like always been our thing. Is like we not only have come way further than I ever expected to, but like we're just transparent. Like this is a festival by music fans for music fans. So when you're talking about the way that we market and like we're always out there, like I'm finding sponsors by posting a tweet that says, hey, we want to have video games at our festival, or we would love to have this seltzer, or who knows, somebody at this company. Because like really, if people think that it's a cool company, they're going to reach out, they're going to make it happen. Like companies have been tagged so many times, and they hit me up, they're like, hey, we were like Twitch was like, we were tagged a million times, it's a little late for this, but let's talk about next year. But really like that's kind of the whole angle that we try to have. So it's really cool that you notice that, is that we're just like, we're normal people. Like we're an office full of people that love music, and that's kind of a reflection of the lineup in itself, is that like everyone in my office comes from a different background, likes different music, and it's like we all listen to each other's music, and we see what's on Spotify Wrapped and what people are putting on playlists and New Music Friday and stuff like that. So it's like, why not blend it all together and have like a people's music festival? And we've even used social media to crowdsource the last few announcements. Like we keep seeing, I guess I can say it because it's not going to be out before then, but
Okay.
we keep seeing bands like We Came as Romans and The Plotting You and Cane Hill all being, you know, mentioned. And so we're like, okay, we're going to book all those bands and like Counterparts. And one of the big artists that we have playing direct to Blackbear is Chase Atlantic. So Chase Atlantic's on the festival. We Came as Romans, Cane Hill, The Plotting You. There's some other ones that we added. One of the guys, Eric the Architect, who's one of the Flatbush Zombies, he's making one of his festival debuts. It's just there's so much cool stuff that like we've kind of seen people keep naming these artists, and we're like, oh well, you think the lineup isn't good enough for you yet, just wait. Like we've been paying attention. And that's kind of how we got some of the artists that were on the first couple announcements, is when, you know, like when We Were Young announced, and they're like, where's I Set My Friends on Fire, where's Broken Side? And we're like, hey, let's hit them up and get them on our festival. And you like doing it that way it's weird, because a lot of the time you see festivals come up like a Lollapalooza or a Coachella, and it's like, boom, there's the lineup. You either want to go or you don't. But with us, it's like, we'll turn haters into fans, because they'll be like, well, this festival needs this, or I'm not going. And it's like, there you go. Now you got to buy a ticket.
That is a brilliant technique. Like, yeah, you're kind of building the lineup as it goes. Like, I guess it's like you're in constant communication with your audience. So yeah, like once you post a little hint here and there, people are like, where's this band? And you like hit that is okay. Wow. That is so cool. And there is so much time left. Like we have about like a month and a half left. So there's no telling like what other surprises are gonna, and I think that's why it's reaching so many people, because it is so diverse in terms of its interest. There's somebody on there for everybody.
I mean, I think that something that's very important to us, like I said, we have people all different backgrounds. Like none of us look the same in the office. I'm for the longest time, like I was the only white dude on my team, and I'm adopted. So I'm like, still like, I don't know, maybe I'm like Italian or Hispanic or something. Like I have no idea what I am. I just like, this is what I look like. I am what I am. But for so long, it seemed like everybody, like something would happen in the community and everyone was like, we support women, or we support Black Lives Matter, or whatever. But then you look at the festival lineups that they put up, and like nothing was backing that up. And like we made a promise that, you know, after 2020, we're like, when we come back, we are going to put as much effort into this as possible. Like we went out to shows, we found artists. Like I went and saw Black Star Kids opening up a tour for, I don't even know how to say the name of the artist. The artist is like supporting Halsey, but it's like, I don't know. But anyway, we went and saw Black Star Kids, and we're like, this is like punk rock right here. Like, I love this. Like, let's put them on. And like got behind Kenny Hoopla and like a bunch of different artists. And like Charlotte Sands was one of the people that we got really behind early on, and now she's like blowing up. And we just want like this to feel like it's everyone's festival, like everyone's a part of it, whether you're the kid that like listens. Like for me, I grew up on hip hop and punk rock, so like this is my dream festival. I get to combine 2 Chainz with Parkway Drive and Knocked Loose, and then I still get to see Sum 41. So to me, this is the coolest thing that I'm ever going to get to go to, and I happen to be putting it on. But that's like just the cool thing that we have with our audience is like, we do ask, and we do see a lot of people that are like, I'm excited for Trippie Redd, Blackbear, and Knocked Loose. And it's like, okay, I'm not the only one. Cool.
Trippie Redd was the last concert I went to before the pandemic. So I have a personal connection to him and his performance and stuff. So yes, I'm definitely psyched for that. Does that play into part whenever you go to other festivals? I know you just came back from South by Southwest. How was it?
Yeah, that was cool. So actually, Black Star Kids played the smallest stage at Stubbs, and I went and saw them, and I like actually got to introduce myself and be like, hey, I'm the promoter for So What, really excited to have you guys. And they were like kind of freaking out. I went to Rolling Loud, and then I left Rolling Loud to go to like an underground hip hop show that this other artist that everyone was like, oh, you got to go see her. I went to go see her. And I started kind of going to festivals and events like that from more of a talent scout perspective than seeing the same artist that I've seen 1,000 times again. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when schedules conflict, you got to go see that artist that you've never seen that's like up and coming. And I think the number one thing that makes us successful is just like paying attention to like not only what our fans are saying, but like what's starting to move on Spotify, who's getting showcases, like who's getting added to other festivals. Like we've been pretty spot on. It's been really cool to see artists that we booked that are also on Coachella, Lollapalooza. Like we booked 100 Gecs a long time ago, and now they're on like every single festival. Like it's crazy. There's another dog over here now. That's not mine, but that's another one. There's like 3 or 4 dogs in my office right now, and they keep looking at this window like, what are you doing? You're gonna let me in?
Okay. Yes. No, we were talking earlier before we started how there's like a whole army of dogs everywhere, and there's a recording session going on too. So yes, we are enjoying, like, there's going to be some background noise. That is perfectly okay.
Dogs are just chasing its tail.
I literally like, dogs are so easily entertained. It's just like, wow. Like I don't feel so as crazy because I'm so easily entertained as well. Oh, yes.
They're like, this is Charlie. He's one of the office.
Oh my God. Hi, Charlie. Oh my God. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's a sneak peek at our office. We partner with Emo Night LA. So we have this big neon Hellas Texas sign. I'm in our conference room on the other side of the wall. Directly across from me is a recording studio where there's a 12-hour session going on. There's a bunch of cubicles. My fiance works for Disco Donnie, which is an EDM company, and she's on a conference call in the other room. So there's a lot of chaos going on. Now Charlie's decided he's going to go upstairs and see what's going on. He's not sure about it. He'll always stop a few steps and take his time. There he goes again.
Oh my God, that is so cute. Oh my God. No, yes, I've heard
a Ghost Inside concert now. There we go.
Oh my God. Okay. See, I never play around with any of the backgrounds. I need to start doing that. Okay.
Here's the other festival that we do, Furnace Fest, is the crowd during Under Oath. I just have all of these like I have a band on my label called The News Can Wait, and so I've always pop up their live photo when we're in meetings. I love trolling people with these backgrounds. Like if I have a sponsor meeting, I'll go ahead and find a picture of their office or their logo, or like if it's a brewery, I'll take a picture of like the outside of the brewery and I'll have it behind me so that we get into the meeting. Then they immediately know that I did my homework and everything. It's hilarious. It always goes well.
Oh my God, you have a whole presentation ready and stuff. Wow. How do you have the time to do that? Oh my God. No.
I have a good team. You know, that's what I always tell people is like, it takes a full team to do stuff like this. And we have a great team. Everybody here is awesome. There's our pop punk guy.
Yes, I've seen that. Oh my God. Okay, wow. This is just okay. This is so cool. Wow, I'm gonna like put together a presentation, like a For the Punks presentation one day. That'll be
Yes,
so cool.
you just go to background and filters, and you can do anything. Like, see, this is one of those breweries that I had a meeting with, and
Oh
then
my
here's their tap.
God.
I was like in their tap room.
Oh my God. No, that would be so
I
fun.
just hijacked the interview to do all that.
No, oh my God. And yes, you mentioned your fiance. That was my next point. I was about to say there's so much to celebrate, but on top of all of that, you are engaged to get married.
Yep. Well, actually, my call before this was with our wedding planner. So,
Okay, my next question was how does planning a wedding compare and contrast with planning a festival?
so honestly, like we did hire wedding planners, but our goal is like, who do we know that does this, that can give us this as a gift? Or like we know people that have photo booths, we know people who have lighting, dance floors, like all that kind of stuff. We know people that run bars. So it's kind of funny because you have a wedding planner who's used to like dealing with two people who are like, we don't know, oh, we have to pay for that. And we're just like, oh, we know someone for that. We know.
Okay,
Like,
so
let's
you're
just
making
focus on.
their job is so simple now. They just have to put it in the calendar for the most part.
I mean, they still got a lot to do. They went through a whole to-do list with us today, but yeah, I mean, it makes their job a lot easier. And it was so funny. The wedding planner today was like, okay, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but my husband saw who I was talking to, and he was like, do you know who that guy is? Like, him and his fiance, they do like a bunch of festivals and shows, and they're like really well known in Dallas. And I was just like, that's so funny to me. Like,
No, you really
our wedding
everywhere.
planner's husband knew all that.
No, you're everywhere in Dallas. No, it's crazy. Like if you type in Mike Ziemer, like if you just Google it, there's just like millions of interviews and millions of articles, everything. It's just so massive and so important as well because there is so much research to do, so much to learn. I mean, I think in a couple years, you'll hit about like 2 decades in the game.
Yeah. I'm on my, I think 19th year, the start of my 19th year of promoting, or 18, I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, 2004, however you math, I don't know.
No, yes. Now, what contributes to your professional endurance? I know we talked about having a team as well, but how are you managing internally? Like, there's so much going on.
I mean, it's what I love doing, but it's also, I mean, I have my mental breakdowns. Like I take depression naps. Sometimes I'll like leave the office, take a 45-minute depression nap that turns into sleeping through the whole night. Like you get overwhelmed by things. Like there's just a lot of moving parts, and like you can be so sure about like a show that you book or an artist that you work with, and like have some falling out or people don't show up. Like there's always ups and downs and everything. But I mean, for the most part, like I've always just tried to be as positive as possible and just like remind myself, like I'm a music fan that used to interview artists so that I could get into shows for free and save all my money to buy a car. And now it's my whole career. Like there are people who depend on me every day to show up to work, to make sure that we're doing well, to keep the lights on, like all that kind of stuff. And I think the one thing that gets me going or keeps me going is just the thought of having to work anywhere else. Like it's crazy because when you run your own business, you hit a point eventually where like you're living like pretty well off. Like a lot of entrepreneurs will hit that level that you see like work 6 years like no one else so that you can have the rest of your life like no one else, or like whatever cliche shit. But like it really is like a sacrifice. Like even at this level, like we're finally having a festival that's like getting the attention of a bunch of websites and things that had never paid attention to us. So like at this point, most of what I do and like we earn as a company, I'll just reinvest in the company in the future and all that kind of stuff. So like there are days where I'm just like, man, I could leave this. I could go get such a nice job at Live Nation or, Golden Voice or something like that. Like with my 18 years of experience, like I could pretty much work anywhere, whether it's, marketing or music or consulting. Like I could just be one of those consultant guys that actually like charges all the people that I give free advice to, or I don't know, there's so many different options, but like at the end of the day, it's like I get to come into my office with my team and put on my events, and like you can't beat that. Like I'll be broke and like taking a second job to pay the bills before I go, close down and like work for someone else. And we've had a lot of those conversations over the years. Like we've sat down with larger promoters. We've had, initial conversations with like Live Nation, AEG, and bigger companies. And it just always comes down to like one thing that you noticed is that I do a lot of different things. I've got the studio, I manage artists. They always are like, okay, well, what's the one thing that you want to focus on? I'm like, I can't. Like I would be bored if my job was to be a talent buyer, and at some point in the day, my job is just waiting for emails to come in. I'm going to find something else that I can do. Like I don't want to be bored. Like I love what I do and I love every aspect of it. And no matter what I try to do, I'm always going to like get away from management and then be like, oh my God, I just saw this artist. They need a team really bad. That could be me. And like, even if I'm just a stepping stone in that artist's career, like I'm still going to step in and do that. So yeah, it's crazy to have been doing it this long, but like I was told when I was 18 years old and getting started that within 5 years I would hate music and want to do a different job. And like I still love music. Even if I'm the oldest person at a concert, like I'm excited to discover new music. Like just is what it is. I mean, maybe I'm 36 right now, so maybe when I hit 40, I'll like have a different perspective and I'll be like, nah, I'm 40 now, I'm married, I got this kid crawling around. Like who knows?
No, no, there's so much youthful energy in you, especially when it comes to keeping up with what's hot right now, not only what's going viral, keeping your hand in that, but also keeping an eye on what's underground and what's just getting started. And that keeps everything fresh. And it's so interesting how you were talking earlier about how you'll have dreams of basically catastrophe. That is so funny. Like, yes, like you'll dream of everything going wrong. The bigger the project, a lot of times can be like the bigger the loss. And so I'm interested to know, like, how do you cope with catastrophe? What do you do when things go wrong?
It's crazy because I feel like every single time that something is a failure in my eyes is like the same time that I just happen to see a comment about like, this was my first festival, I can't wait till the next one. This was the best experience. Oh, I'll never forget meeting my fiance at your festival. Or like, it's just the fans always like are online talking positively about everything that we do. And it's like, you can only beat yourself up for so long once you realize how much you're impacting people's lives. Like if we went away tomorrow, there's a lot of people who like go to our shows specifically because it's us, or go to our festival because they've been going to it for 10 years or whatever it is. Like we have like almost this responsibility at this point, and I don't really like, I just always figure it out. You know what I mean? Like something happens and I'm like, okay, well, we can just be done. And like, we've tried, we didn't do what we wanted to do, or, this was a bad year, we ended up losing money. Let's just, go get different jobs. Like it just, none of that sounds fun. None of it sounds realistic. Like there's always ways to get through anything if you want to get through something. It's just a matter of picking yourself up. And like, we've had festivals go really bad and I've just been like in bed freaking out. I'm like, what are we going to do? And then it's like, well, this isn't going to solve anything. Like nothing is going to get better by me being negative about something and giving up. Like, because at that point, then we're just done. Like we aren't going to problem solve. So I also have like a very, for the most part, like optimistic team around me too, that's really good at problem solving. And we have a lot of people that just support us in general and want to see, our company succeed. And like, whether it be like friends that reached out during COVID and were like, hey, can I, pay for this to help you out? Or, like our landlord helping us get months of rent not charged to us during COVID, but keep our office, or whatever it is. Like people want to see the underdog win a lot. And like, I think that's what makes us special, is like we are transparently that underdog. Like I said earlier, like there's always a reason to keep going. And like the amount of times that I talk to people on the internet, and or even just see messages that I don't even have the time to respond to, that are just like, hey man, I just wanted to let you know, like I was in a really bad spot, and then I went to this festival and it like changed my life, and I met this person and that. It's like, you can't give up on that and stop. So you keep going. Sometimes you have to go back and read that stuff and like remember why you exist.
Yes, of course. And when it comes to planning these projects, you do have to keep emergencies in mind whenever you're designing your emergency plan. Like, when things go wrong, this is what we do. But how do you avoid living in fear? Are you still able to enjoy the festival even though you have to keep a lot on your mind?
It always depends. Like there's been festivals where like everything is smooth and I get to see every single act I want to see. I get to enjoy it. We're popping champagne by the end of the festival. And then there's times where like weather's been an issue, or someone gets hurt, or a band doesn't show up, or two people get in a fight, or like anything that you can imagine happens. And like you have to be in it and problem solve and all that. But I mean, for the most part, it's like there's always that moment, even in the worst festival, where like the band's on stage, music is going, and you just like pause and you're like, wow, we did this, we pulled it off. Like everything's moving, it's going, we're here, enjoy it. Like Furnace Fest was a perfect example, because Furnace Fest hadn't been a festival for 20 years, and I got brought on as a partner for that. And like the first day was just chaos, and I got to see some of the sets I wanted to see, but like there was just a lot of miscommunication with different teams. And like there was one point where I was actually catching crowd surfers and doing security because everyone was so short staffed. And then by day 2 and day 3, like everything was just perfect. Like the security company had solved the problem. Everything was going well. I was like hanging outside stage, being able to talk to the managers and tour managers while their artists were playing, and like do interviews on site and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think the fear of everything is there, but like I mean, that's why like insurance exists. That's why you plan ahead. That's why emergency plans are made. That's why you have a production manager, a security manager, the fire department, the medical tent. You have every precaution that you could take for any sort of thing, like weather monitoring. And it is what it is. Like at some things you can't control, and you've done everything you can. The door's open, the festival's going, and you just try to take care of everybody the best that you can. And I think our audience has always been very good about that, like always supportive of each other. It's kind of like everybody in a community just coming together and having a good time, very much like what Warped Tour was for me growing up.
Yes. I think for so many people, Warped Tour was just everything. It was just that festival that everybody planned for, anticipated during the summer. Like, oh my goodness. It definitely, of course, So What is one of those festivals for sure. And yes, like, I love your take on caution. Caution does not stifle hope. It's important to make sure we have all of our bearings covered. Now, when it comes to marketing and promoting, before all the anticipation, is it difficult to not confuse marketing with convincing people of your self-worth, or convincing yourself, like in the routine of trying to get people's attention, trying to advertise? When it comes to believing in yourself, is it difficult to keep boundaries in between the two?
I think our marketing is our excitement. Like we're not just posting the same flyer over and over again. Like we're sharing artists that we're genuinely excited for. We're sharing, like, hey, we decided we're not going to increase prices. Like, make sure you get your tickets. Or, hey, I I did some ads the other day, because there's 3 states. There's South Dakota, Vermont, and Maine, and no one's bought a ticket from there. And once we do, we'll have all 50 states covered. So I started running ads in those states, and it's like, hey, South Dakota, we need one of you to buy a ticket so we can fill in this map and say all 50 states have bought tickets. Like, use this code. Or I did like Maine, the code was lobster, and it was just like, we know Maine is a small state, but we need one of you to come to the festival, check out this lineup, and save 25% with the code lobster. Like, just like goofy. And like, there are people that were like, I'm not coming there from Maine, but I appreciate your advertisement. You know, it's like, we weren't just purposely casting a wide net across the United States, hoping that people want to come to the festival. It's like very strategic. And like, we'll do ads. Denver, for example, is one of the markets that we sell the most tickets outside of Texas. So I did an ad a couple of weeks ago that was like, buy your ticket this weekend, get 25% off with the code Mile High. And like, we sold like 10 passes pretty immediately, which way more than pays for like a $200 ad. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it's all strategic, and it's all just like, it's fun. Like I don't know, there's so many cool, like with the characters and everything, like we're creating like a community and like a universe around the festival that is like its own thing. And so we're doing a billboard campaign next month in Dallas. There's 3 billboards that like surround the highways going to where the stadium is.
Yes.
And the billboard is going to say sowwhatsucks.com, just so people go to the website. Like, because if we just put up our normal, like basically when you're driving around and you see a billboard that's like advertising an event that's coming up, you're like, oh, that event must not be selling very well if they're going to pay for a billboard. But ours is more so funny. Like, we just want to get the attention of the people who didn't know this festival was here and aren't coming anyway. And they're like, oh, there's 250 artists playing over 3 days in my backyard. Like, I'm going to buy a ticket to that. That's funny. So whatsucks.com, and it goes to their website. That's clever. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we're doing.
Yes. And it's all brilliant. It all, like you've said before in previous interviews and articles, it is a 24/7 job. You're constantly innovating, thinking of new ideas to get connected with people. I'm wondering, what boundaries have you set with social media in order to protect your mental health? Twitter is like, can be a beautiful place, but also a dangerous place. Like, you just have to brace yourself every time you open the app. So how are you going about that?
And so it's weird for me because like, I remember when social media and Twitter in particular was like the wild, wild west. And you just like, Twitter used to be like shock and awe. Like, you would just say whatever you wanted on there. We used to have like jokes and stuff that we always posted that like, I've since like deleted my old Twitter, not because anything was really offensive, but because people wouldn't understand it was a joke. Like, I don't even want to give examples because people take this seriously. But like, so I get on there now and like, sometimes I'll argue with people. It seems like it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. But like, I argue about the dumbest things sometimes, just out of like if I'm having a frustrating day and I see someone that says that thing, I'm like, you know what? You get to feel the wrath of my anger today. Like, but most of the time it's just like somebody will say, this lineup sucks. And I'm like, okay, don't go. Like, not every person's gonna love this lineup. You also probably listen to half these artists and you're not zooming in on the flyer, but that's fine. I don't know. I log off if I need to, you know what I mean? Like, I used to go through those stages of like, hey everyone, I'm going to deactivate my account for 2 weeks. And like, that doesn't do anything. Like, you just wonder what's going on without you when you're not on there. You know what I mean? Like, what am I missing? Like, Twitter's where I find all my news. If someone dies, I see it on Twitter first. If there's an earthquake or like anything big going on, like that's where I see about it. Like, I was following the entire Astro World thing in real time on Twitter as it was happening. I'm like, damn, I hope my friends that are working that are like, okay, like, you're not going to find any better news source. So it is kind of depressing sometimes when you log in and it's like, this person just died, there's a war going on, this catastrophe just happened, this shooting, and it's kind of like desensitized us to like, oh, only 4 people shot at this one, that's not really a mass shooting, that one had 20. And it's like, it's sad that it's like that, but like, we're just fed every single day some new thing to like focus on. And so I try to like, I'll look at the trending topics and it's like, do I want to enter that wormhole or do I want to just like post? And I think it's really cool that they just added the Twitter communities. I set one up for so what, and now I'm like, when I'm in that, it's only so what. And it's like, when I need to see all positive things, I'm going to go in here and everyone's like, oh, who wants to meet up here and who's coming into town early? Like, you see the positive side of social media. And I don't know, I think posting about like needing sponsors and things like that and it coming together so quickly is like the beauty of social media. Like, you can tell when people genuinely support you. Like, can you imagine if Live Nation posted that? They're like, hey, we're not getting our top tier sponsor this year, can you guys help us out? Everyone's gonna be like, fuck you and your fees. Like, it's just, there's not going to be a good response to it. You know what I mean? Like, people want to hate those big companies so bad, and like, whatever, you're going to still go support them and see all your favorite bands. So your anger is clearly misdirected. But you know what I mean? Like, there's such a beautiful part to social media. And I think being transparent and open and just like doing so many interviews and speaking my mind so much, like, there's not a whole lot people can get online and like say bad about me, because I'm like, this is me, this is what I believe, this is who I am, this is what I do. And like, I hear some very outlandish things that are said, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know who you are or what you're talking about, but I hope that makes you feel better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feed into it, because I know that what we're doing is awesome. And I know that, you know, I'm a good person. I know my team's good people, and I know that we're doing good things for people. So I try to not get caught up in it. But all that being said, if I were younger and I was in school, like if social media was the way it is now when I was in high school, I would literally hate myself, because I was already in this weird spot where like I moved to Texas and everyone thought I was like this punk dude and like music guy, because I came from California. So I like spiky hair and like surf clothes, and like everyone else was wearing Abercrombie. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't fit in. I can't imagine like logging into Twitter and everyone's like, "Ooh, did you see the new guy? What a weirdo." Like, it's just, I can't, like, the bullying and stuff that I see online, I'm just like, this is so bad. Like, who cares? Like, why would you want to do any of that? So I think I kind of avoided, like, MySpace was a pretty positive place for the most part. There wasn't a whole lot of that bullying and stuff that, like, at least I saw. Like, it was very productive for us to like post bulletins and share things and like get people to our concerts. But really, it was when people realized they could have a Facebook opinion, or say like, or that they could just judge you on Twitter for anything. Like, I saw comedians that have been like coming out against Will Smith. All of a sudden people are like, "Oh, when you remember when you did that, Jim Carrey?" It's like, damn, this is savage. Like, Twitter's just gonna dig up everything on everyone.
I saw that live. I was watching it live and I was like, he still better win. Oh my God. I mean, I think we were all in disbelief, but it kind of shows just how, I guess, I don't know if noisy is the right word, like how noisy social media can get, but I mean, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So I understand when it comes to being younger and inexperienced, that can be kind of a scary thing when you do fail, because it might be posted everywhere.
Yeah, like that was the craziest thing about like, and honestly, like a huge fear of mine with anything ever going wrong is just like how quickly everyone turned on Travis Scott during Astroworld. It's like, he is literally one of the top artists that cares about his fans, does anything for his fans, and then everyone's like, it was a satanic ritual of sacrifice. Just like, what the fuck? Like, people are buying into this. Like, that dude, I guarantee he had the worst mental health for a few months, because he legitimately had to hear that people he cares about, his fans, died at his event. Like, everyone's like, oh, he knew. It's like, you don't know what's going on when you're on stage and all those lights and the noises, and you're not paying attention with in-ears to what the crowd is chanting. And like, obviously, I think there should have been precautions taken. And I'm not saying that like everybody should just like be like, oh, it happens, because it doesn't. That doesn't happen. If it happened, then it'd be more common. But to just like turn on somebody that quick, like that's the total downside of social media, where like, even I remember when he posted that Batman costume and everyone bullied him off of the internet for like a week. I shouldn't be laughing because it's horrible, but like, he posted his Batman Halloween costume and it was like brown. And everyone's like, Batman's not brown, you idiot. And like, just bullied him off the internet. I'm like, you bullied Travis Scott off the internet over a Batman costume. He just wanted to match his car. Like,
I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was cool because it matched the car, you know?
Like, that looks sick. Like, I'll wear that. But I mean, it is mentally draining and exhausting going on the internet a lot of the time.
Okay, so from your experience, what would you say is your rejection analysis? Like, when it comes to maybe smaller bands or independent artists that are on Twitter and they are making it a 27 or 24/7 job, they're reaching out to venues and promoters, and they're just not gaining any traction. Like, what have you learned? Because I know in almost 2 decades, you probably dealt with rejection at least once or twice.
Yeah. I mean, it's, as far as artists go, like it's just like your live show and your music, like it speaks for itself. Like you can send a million emails, you can comment on a million things, but like people are gonna talk about like Zulu right now. It's like one of the most talked about
I
artists.
was about to ask you if you've ever heard of Zulu.
Yeah, like they're one of the most talked about artists. I've never seen them live. I've never booked them, but I want to because I've seen what they do live. I've heard of them. Everyone's talking about them. Like that's how you get people's attention, is just like being these like crazy good and like crazy artists that are just like, you know, standing out and like making themselves set apart. Like that, I mean, I was trying to think of a good example. I don't know. There's so many, we booked so many bands. It's just
they're all, yes, like I don't know how you keep it all together. Like
okay, Knocked Loose played Warped Tour. They were on one of the smaller stages. Everyone was talking about Knocked Loose. And I went to go watch them with the dudes in Power Trip because they were like, we're considering this band for one of our upcoming tours. This is like years ago. And I watched them and I was like, this band's gonna get huge. Like, I don't care if there's 40 people watching them right now or 50 people, whatever it is, they're going to be huge. Like, you just see it. And like, there's just a way to build hype. Like there's that. And then there's, do you follow Kanye?
I missed out on my Kanye awakening, but everybody I know is like a Kanye fan. So it's Kanye positivity.
It's not about him necessarily. It's this one dude that comments on all of Kanye's things. It's like produced by Zach, and he comments on everything Kanye posts. And it's the same things like God the GOAT, Kanye the GOAT, Kanye hit me up. Like he just everything. And you notice him because of that. And like that guy hit me up trying to play the festival. And I'm like, I see you. I can't book you. You've made yourself like too much of a meme almost. Like you're just like, no one's going to watch your set. They'll interact with you online. But he's just like trying to be the first one to comment on everything. And like, it doesn't like, you're not standing out in a good way at that point. You know what I mean? Like you're not standing out because your music's good or because you're doing a good performance. And his music could be great. He could be a great performer. I don't know that because I've just been so turned off by his constant messaging and his constant commenting and things like that. And if he sees this, I'm sorry. Like,
no,
I'm not trying to.
This is great advice. No, I've heard you talk on, I have to figure out what podcast it was, but you were talking about how you would much rather a band not have their entire fan base go and be like, everybody tag So What Festival so we can be on the lineup next year or whatever. You'd much rather them just kind of keep going on their journey, just keep working hard, and eventually something will happen.
Yeah, it sucks because like we'll post things that say, if you're in a band or you make music, comment below. And then they'll be like, hey, everybody go comment here. And it floods it. And so we don't even check it because there's like 900 people that don't make music commenting this band or this artist. And like what we're looking for is just links that we can just click, listen, click, listen, click, listen. And like if we like something, we're going to hit them up. But when you flood it with all these comments, it's like, I don't want to sort through all of this. I'm just asking you to post your music. And like, every time it happens, no matter how many times I'm like, this is not for fans to comment on, or like we'll post a submission form and fans will go start filling in the artist they want to see. And I'm like, how do you even think this is correct? Because it says like your band contact, your band phone number. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's not like, we don't book artists because 100 of their fans are like spamming us. We book them because they send us music. They're polite. They're good. Like there's just an etiquette. Like if you're reaching out to someone like me or another festival, like introduce yourself, keep it short, have links to your music. Like there's so many emails like, how can we play your festival? It's like, who are you? What does your music sound like? Like this might be the only email I ever open up from you. Where's your music link? What do you do? Like who, like, where are you from? Like do the intro. And then when I get the professional emails, I click it, I watch the music video, I listen to the music. We may not book them, but at least I've listened to your band now and it's in my head. My dog again.
Oh, there goes. Oh, okay.
That one's mine. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. No, they're like, amen. Yes, that's good advice, Dad. Yes, tell the people. No, that is golden advice. Okay. Well, all of this has just been so amazing, so amazing. We have reached the final question of our interview. I'm so sad. No, like this is a master. I know you do consulting as well, so like that's where like all this is coming from. It's just like, oh, but yes. Okay, my final question is, are you enjoying your life? Like, do you feel alive?
Yes. So Mavericks are going to the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
I have half season tickets, so that's how I keep myself sane. Is that okay? This is actually more stressful than anything is being a sports fan in Dallas, because the Cowboys blew the playoffs. The Mavs have been scaring me all season, but it looks like they're going to make it. So they beat the Lakers last night and took third place, so that's very important. But like, yeah, I make sure, like, as hard as I work and as much as I have going on, like I do other stuff. Like I love going to basketball games. I do, like, my parents have a cabin out in the woods. I go hang out with them and do like chill stuff. I have a bike I ride. I go work out. I walk at the park. And like a lot of the time, if I'm walking in the park or I'm working out, like I'm still on my phone, but like I'm getting the adrenaline going. I'm getting like that feel good of like, oh, I'm working out, I'm doing this. So yeah, I think the only way that I would ever stop doing this is if I stop feeling alive and stop being happy with what I'm doing. Because then it's like, well, if I'm going to be happy, or if I'm going to be unhappy and, you know, stop feeling alive, then I may as well just go let someone else pay me to sit in the cubicle and hate my life versus just being here and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm surrounded by good people. Obviously, I'm engaged. I'm getting married. I have a dog that's annoying but beautiful.
What's your dog's name?
Maddie, she's a little Chihuahua rat.
Oh my God. Why are Chihuahuas the cutest dogs ever?
13. She's an older dog, but she still runs around like she's a little puppy.
Oh my God. That is so cute.
And she'll
That's like, oh my, so sweet. So they're so cute for pictures, right? But then once the camera is away, they're just like going crazy.
Her Christmas sweater.
Oh, my Christmas sweater. Is she gonna dress up for the wedding?
Hopefully. So I mean, like that's why, like, when I say I like go home and take these little depression naps, like that's what makes it better. It's like 30 minutes, I lay down, I put my phone away, I hang out with my dog, and then I'm like, all right, back to it. Like that was enough. You took your time, you took your little break. And sometimes it is just like staring at a screen for so long and needing to like chill. It's not necessarily that like things are bad. It's just that like feeling overwhelmed, you know, a lot of things going on. So we just had Monster come in a few minutes ago and deliver a bunch of energy drinks to get us through the festival. Sorry,
God.
Our Red Bull fridge is looking pretty bleak right now. So
what's your favorite Red Bull?
I honestly, the blue one with vodka, but I don't like sugary drinks anymore, so it's hard. Like whatever they have that's sugar-free, I'll drink. But I really like, my favorite energy drink is those adrenaline shock ones, the A-Shock. They're all they're basically workout ones. So I'll like drink a half one of those and then go to the gym, and then it's like, oh, I just worked out for an hour. I didn't even notice. So.
Okay. That is, yes, I understand. I feel like the yellow ones are my favorite ones. I love those. But I also haven't tried the blue ones. So it might change my life. I'm gonna have to see. But yes, oh my gosh. Well, thank you all so much again for tuning in to the For the Punks YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting us know who you're most excited to see in Texas. Be sure to follow So What Music Festival on Instagram at So What Music Fest. Like their Facebook page, join their community page on Twitter, and check out their website, sowhatmusicfestival.com. Really? Oh my God.
I don't know why it's backwards.
So what? Yes.
Backwards. I don't know. I wasn't supposed to do that.